hero. A morning coffee in Marrickville, the first priority for Australia's 31st Prime Minister. From working class Camperdown to waterfront Kirribilli, Anthony Albanese's inspiration to reach for the stars. Last drinks, the Morrisons farewell their old life as ScoMo finds a new way to spend his free time. The female force behind the wave of change, the band of independents off to paint Canberra teal. And Brad Fittler's blunt admission about the Blues Origin campaign after Tom Trbojević's horror injury.
This is 9 News with Peter Overton.
Good evening. The winds of change have blown through Australian politics, sweeping away the coalition government and ushering in Labor for the first time in close to a decade. Widespread discontent with mainstream politics saw an historic swing towards the so-called teal independence. But Anthony Albanese has won enough seats to secure his position as Prime Minister. With around 68% of the vote counted, this is how the House of Representatives now looks. Labor has won 71 seats, the Coalition 51, and others, the Greens and the Independents, 15. 14 seats remain in doubt. Labor needs 76 to govern in its own right. Nine's political editor, Chris Uhlmann, begins our coverage.
Australia has a new Prime Minister.
Tonight, the Australian people have voted for change.
The son of a single mother rose from the poverty of a housing commission home to be the next resident of the Lodge.
My mother dreamt of a better life for me, and I hope that my journey in life inspires Australians to reach for the stars.
With the raucous backing of the faithful and the silent support of his partner, he pledged to heal a deeply divided nation.
I want to seek our common purpose and promote unity and optimism, not fear and division.
The country did unite in anger to expel Scott Morrison, who, surrounded by his family, left with grace.
I congratulate Anthony Albanese and the Labor Party, and I wish him and his government all the very best.
As the winds of change turned into an electoral cyclone that blew the Morrison government away. The Liberal Party was routed from coast to coast, with 17 seats gone, just one regained and 7 still in doubt, bleeding seats to Labor, Independents and even the Greens. Labor is inching towards 76 seats and majority government, and the coalition bench has been reduced to the low 60s.
I, as leader, take responsibility for the wins and the losses.
The first and only issue in this campaign was the unpopularity of Scott Morrison, and carrying that weight crushed the chances of his treasurer, one of many to fall to well-organised and well-funded independents.
I have been supported every single day of this job by the most remarkable partner in life in my wife, Amy Frodenberg.
Showing that no parliamentary seat can be considered safe.
The communities are saying you do not own a seat. It is not yours by right.
The big winners of the night were the Teal Independents and the Greens, who will lift the number on the crossbench in Parliament from 6 to a likely 15.
This election didn't just change a government, it was a green slide.
This morning, the Marrickville boy returned to his roots.
Just another normal day in Marrickville.
He'll be sworn in as Australia's 31st Prime Minister first thing tomorrow, then immediately jet off to Tokyo to join the leaders of a security pact that unites Japan, the United States, India and Australia, formed to balance a more aggressive China.
The Quad Leaders meeting is an absolute priority for Australia.
Scott Morrison took comfort in his faith.
I'm very pleased that the last thing I say as PM is here.
And an Old Testament verse that speaks of keeping that faith in adversity.
Even if the fig tree does not blossom, and there is no fruit on the vines.
But it's not just this man and the Liberals that face a reckoning. The primary vote tells a deeper story, the decline of both major parties, the worst result by Conservative forces since Federation, and Labor remarkably going backwards on its last dismal result to post its worst number since 1934, which means it was not the first choice of nearly 7 out of 10 voters. Now the harsh light of scrutiny falls on another.
Something that's a big moment in my life, but what I want it to be is a big moment for the country. I do want to change the country. I want to change the way that politics operates in this country.
The audition is over and the really hard work lies ahead.
Hard work indeed. Political editor Chris Uhlmann.